Hey, Dr. Drew here. Head on over to store.ymhstudios.com and check out the great new merch we have. It's all new Dr. Drew After Dark gear.
So does white have salt in it? Because, not saying I did, but tasted it one time and it was a little bit salty. And hypothetically speaking, say if I ran out of salt, could I use that to season like a steak or something?
I am Dr. Drew, and this is Dr. Drew After Dark. Please be advised that Dr. Drew After Dark may contain sexually oriented content and be unsuitable for young children. All right, Gene, welcome to Dr. Drew After Dark. Our phone number, 818-253-1693, and the emails are at drdrewafterdark@gmail.com. And the Booth Boys are with me today. Gentlemen, everybody good?
Hell yeah.
What's up, baby?
What's up? We're gonna dig into you guys a little bit further in a few minutes, but maybe all of us even. Maybe I should be on the scoreboard too. Let me explain to people what I'm talking about.
Fuck yeah.
Don't like the way you phrased it, but all right, let's do it.
I brought in a couple of screens, just basic tests to see if you're a sociopath or if you have a borderline personality disorder. Last time, one of the last shows, Andy brought up borderline. He was reading about borderline. He said, "I got all that." And I said, "I don't think that's what you got." So we're gonna go into that a little more detail, and then sort of pin that or follow that on with a little antisocial personality, which Andy had noted last time. He has traits of. He has traits.
How exciting.
I kind of hit 10 for 10 on that one.
Traits.
So,
Traits.
Yeah,
yes. Traits. And we're going to sort of this time talk more about intensity of things and other stuff you might be doing. But anyway, so I'm going to get right to some couple of I will get some voice messages, but some emails. I was thinking about some stuff with you guys when I was in the bathroom, and now what was it? I do my best thinking there. Gone. Mucus tastes like nuts. Had a nasty cough for a couple weeks recently. For a while, every time I coughed up mucus, it tasted like peanuts, but I wasn't eating any kind of nut. What could this be? That could be infected, bronchitis or even pneumonia. My goodness. Random blackouts. 22-year-old male and have been experiencing blackouts from alcohol even when I consume small amounts over the span of the evening. Always happened right after it's fairly certain I'll have a way of getting home, blah, blah, blah. Et cetera, et cetera. I'm not a frequent drinker, maybe once or twice a month, although I started drinking at age 14 since I'm from Poland. See, this is the bullshit that Europeans do. It's like, we don't have any problems with alcohol. We teach our kids how to drink. Now he's blacking out. Anyways, I'm home here from now. Good. So check it out. Try it out, because you better believe I'm coming up in May. Gerard. Blacking out is not a normal relationship with alcohol. It does suggest that, no, it's actually a sign of alcoholism, or at least impending alcoholism. And it's just, he's blacking out with 3 to 4 beers over an evening, which means you probably have been drinking more than you realize over a longer period of time than you realize, which means you need to remain abstinent for a period of time. I'm not saying you have to give up drinking, that you've thrown the switch on alcoholism. What I'm saying is you have an abnormal relationship with alcohol. You could trigger it pretty easily. And let's see how you do with 2 or 3 months of abstinence and whether that tendency to black out doesn't kind of diminish somewhat.
Interesting.
Mysterious white while browning. It's white and brown, guys. You get that all in one email. I'm a 21-year-old male, and sometimes when I brown, especially if it's a fat, girthy one, a mysterious, clear, sticky white secretes from where it spits. It happens before I poop and shoot. It's so hard to read these guys. They're such poets. This happens before I poop and shoot, Jing my D after I shit. So I don't think this is white coming out. Right. In other words, he's saying he's cleaned the pipes and the white comes from his anus before he poops.
Wait, what?
I'll tell you in a second.
He's coming out of his ass?
No. Are these large shits just milking my prostate? Aye. No, they are not. That is mucus. Your rectum and your colon produces a certain amount of mucus, and it can be a sign of inflammation in your colon, frankly, so it is something to pay attention to. But some people just produce a fair amount of mucus. I'm going to bet Annie has mucus. Do you have a little white coming out at the very end there?
Dude,
just guessing.
How would I know, man?
You don't even check.
Look.
You don't even look. That's right.
No, there's no mucus.
If you look down, the hand might come up. I understand.
Actually, I have a question about the anal mucus.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Does your body know that you have a big brown coming? And you're like, oh, we better lube up for this one.
It's probably has some adaptive properties. I mean, most people don't have mucus unless there's some sort of inflammation going on. And you can imagine.
And he's dissociating in here. His eyes are just closed, and I don't know if he knows what's happening. But Annie, are you with us?
I'm somewhere else.
Oh my goodness! What is it about the mucus, sir, that gives you such a hard time?
Oh come on! Who the fuck likes mucus? What do you mean?
I just had a guy coughing up mucus from his lungs that tastes like nuts. That didn't bother you?
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
That was my opening email. He said he coughs up the sputum that he coughs up tastes like peanuts.
Why would you taste it? Why don't you just throw it away?
You can't help it. Even when
out.
it comes across your taste buds and your mouth fills with that lovely...
I say peanuts isn't a bad trade-off.
Oh, this reminds me of sharing that leather-wearing poop diver to Jen Kirkman. She had quite a reaction too. But so mucus itself, that's just something that makes you go to another place, huh?
I mean, we're just it's all of it, you know. Like I don't like mucus.
Hold on a second.
But it's just like who likes mucus? Who sees mucus and they're like, oh, interesting.
Who hates mucus?
I have the potential of screwing you up right now.
Please don't.
Well, let me just say that the white that you so dutifully produce 3 times a day, that's just mucus.
Bullshit. What the fuck you mean that's mucus? That's not the same fucking thing. That's not the same thing at all.
It is.
What the fuck you mean that's the same thing as mucus? You're saying that you're saying that my dick is sick every time I come out?
It sneezes.
I am not saying that.
What are you trying to say?
I am saying that mucopolysaccharides, which are these things that sort of the fluid that is so viscous that we associate with mucus, and it can be mucus, say from the lungs or the anus, can develop other debris and white cells in it, but the fundamental sort of thick fluid is called a mucopolysaccharide. Now, there are a lot of different mucopolysaccharides, but mucus is the thing that our bodies create on surfaces that interact with the outside world typically, or that need to be kept clean and moving and things like that. And the fluid that semen is sent into still the outside world of the vagina. Remember, I've taught you guys that the vagina is outside the body.
Yeah, right.
That mucus has to be able to deliver there to stay there, so the sperm can find their way up towards the cervix. Is it any of this making sense to you?
So hold on. So you're telling me not only does mucus coming out of my dick, you're saying mucus is in the pussy, just waiting for me?
There's mucus. Of course. When a woman is having fluid, that's sort of a mucus.
You just really
it's
want
a thin
me to not
mucus.
Like pussy. It's really what this feels like. There's like, hey, did you realize that it's a hole, man? Did you realize that you don't know where it goes necessarily? Did you realize you've never been inside of it? Did you realize that there's mucus in it? You want me to hate pussy, Drew? What's going on?
I don't want you to hate pussy. I want you to love pussy. But I want you to.
Well, I'm there, man.
But now I'm afraid you're going to dissociate every time you are in the presence of pussy, and that's going to be bad. I wonder if you're going to make it through another masturbatory episode. That's going to be bad without dissociating. And by the way, where do you stand in relation to the toilet? You can't. Do you squat miles up like you do, where you sit on the water thing, the water tank?
What do you mean when you're coming?
Yeah, I mean, if you're using do you stay away from the toilet? Because I know your relationship with the toilet is complex.
No, yeah, I stand right over it.
You stand over it, and that's okay. You can do that. That doesn't interrupt the meal, whatever.
No, yeah.
But hold on, I have an interesting question for Annie.
Yeah.
So Annie, now that you're learning that mucus is a big part of the pussy, do you prefer a dry pussy or a mucusy pussy?
Oh, and Nadav, getting down to it. So let's be clear, though. There's thick mucus and thin mucus, and vaginas tend to have relatively thin mucus usually. So it's not the stuff that you're disgusted by, Annie, right? Or is Annie gone? Is Annie there? Can he talk?
Annie's going to be gone for the next 10 minutes or so.
You want me to be present for the damn show.
I do. I'll give you a little break.
You want me to give you content, and you're talking about fucking mucus and pussy and in my asshole and coming in the toilets.
I thought this was your mom's house. I thought this is where they talked about brown and white all the time. I thought you'd be used to it by now.
No, you're doing a great job, Drew. This is good stuff.
I thought this is with sort of the fundamental sort of landscape of your mom's house, what you had to talk about white and brown. It's just so astonishing to me that no one ever connected that white and brown have mucus, mucopolysaccharides. Maybe we should just stop using, maybe it's the word that bugs you, Eddie. Maybe it's the word mucus.
Yes, it is the word. It is the feel. It's
right. So let's just call them mucopolysaccharides, okay?
I don't think that one's helping.
Polysaccharides means sugars. Polysaccharides, multiple sugars.
Let's call it sugar.
Yeah,
let's call it. I like sugar.
All right, so we can bring you back. And polysaccharide is multiple sugars, many sugars. So it's mucopolysaccharide. So it's these long chains that can slide against one another that are also connected to sugars. It's good.
Hell yeah,
it's all good, right? And
bunch of sugar and pussy. And the thinner.
Let's do it. And I don't know this to be true, but I'm guessing the thinner, the more polysaccharide laden. Than the less muco-laden, right? The sort of muco and polysaccharide.
You're getting further away from it, Drew. We're losing them again.
No, I'm saying there'd be more sugars in the thin stuff. And so more sugar with the P. And but less sugar with the white. So I like the way your buddy just sits there and just laughs his ass off at you. I'm feeling bad. I'm trying to dig you out of this.
Buddy. I think he's on my team.
I thought he was your buddy. Now I know you have antisocial feelings. Oh, my God.
He's my arch nemesis, this fucking guy.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
I just want what's best for you, Annie.
But it's so weird to me that no one has brought up what the white and the brown, at least what the white is made of, right? I mean, what is it the prostate produces that gets stuck into the seminal vesicles?
Sugar.
It's sugar.
Sugar with some other stuff.
Come on, man. It's just sugar. The reason why I never needed to know is because I don't taste that. I don't
No, right, but you talk about it a lot on this network. What I'm saying is there's been years of talk about these things, and the mucus component of defecating or ejaculating has not come up. And that's kind of astonishing to me. But here we are. We're just talking about reality here. We're educating Annie so he doesn't have to dissociate when he gets in the presence of his own fluids. All right? He's gone. All right. Well, we get another question going.
This is beautiful, Drew.
Am I squirting or peeing? Speaking of squirting, that's mucopolysaccharides typically too. Though if it's peeing. Is Annie gonna be able to engage in this conversation, or is he just gone?
This is turning into an instant classic.
Oh my God. All right. Hi, Mommy, Dr. Mommy. I'm writing with probably a very common question. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm squirting or peeing. Not common because not a lot of people can do that, but I've heard this many times before. Yes. I always make sure to pee before and after sex. During foreplay, my partner will make me squirt like 3 to 5 times. It comes out like a massive waterfall, feels amazing, but the volume of fluid sometimes takes me by surprise. I get self-conscious about this, and this is why I always have to make sure my bladder is empty before foreplay. So here's Annie. You like this topic? No.
Are you sure?
I think so. I'll stay off the mucus component of it.
Okay.
I will get to it, but I'll warn you before I do. Which is that women that squirt that have this propensity, and we'll talk about what it is in a second, always feel embarrassed and ashamed. As a man, should they have any degree of discomfort when you make that happen?
No, of course not. But
right.
to be fair, I've never had a girl be
but
what's it called? Embarrassed by it, though.
Right. So well, they keep it to themselves. But to the extent that what do you feel about it when you've caused that to happen?
I'm a fucking magician.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So your partner, this squirt or pee email questioner, your partner loves this, feels great about it. Men like evidence of what they've done. They like to see some evidence of success, and so that makes him feel like he's really doing his job and turning you on, those kind of stuff. So trust me, there is zero reason for you to feel uncomfortable, but they do. I get self-conscious. I always make sure my bladder's empty, which is a good idea generally. But the fact that your bladder is empty tells you that this is probably not pee, right? I've heard about the female prostate. That's right, the Skene's glands, which are also called the periurethral glands, which when you look at them under the here we go. You look at them under the microscope, it's, there you go. Look under the microscope, they look exactly like prostate tissue. So some people have a more development of that Skene's glands. There are not many good pictures of this.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one.
I like the giant cool over the picture.
There we go.
These really aren't good pictures of Skene's glands. You need to actually look at Skene's glands pathology section. Yeah. And let's see if we can actually look at what. There you go. And that kind of looks like prostate. That's especially that upper left one. And
what are we looking at?
Yeah. And so some women have a lot of
vagina.
No, it's sort of the glands. It's just these glandular tissue.
right.
It's in cross section.
God, I was worried.
Yeah, nobody's gonna be interested in this except me. But the fact that women have this prostate-like tissue there, some can really produce a lot of fluid, and any male that has emptied his seminal vesicles, in other words, who's had an ejaculate, and then can very quickly ejaculate again. I mean, think about how much fluid goes back into the seminal vesicles. So some women can accumulate similar amounts. It just doesn't collect in the vesicles. It collects in the Skene's glands. Let's see. I did not empty my bladder before I squirt. Would I also pee at the same time? Asking because this isn't something I want to test. I love you. Thank you. Keeping us in a safe place to embarrassing questions. And then beat me, pee on me. I love you, mommies.
Well, do ladies have the same mechanism that men have? Because I know men can't jizz and pee at the same time. Do ladies?
No, they don't. They don't have that.
They don't have that?
No, because we have a valve that closes so the white can come out. They have no white to come out, so they have no reason for that, right? But sometimes when they're aroused, it can be difficult to pee, but they don't have a erection to deal with either. That's why we have difficulty peeing. So. Bottom line, we're getting into it here. I want to sort of get through this topic. That there is such a thing as female orgasmic incontinence. And probably some people would say that most women that have fluid that emits during an orgasm are having female orgasmic incontinence. I'm here to tell you that isn't always the case. And now, Annie, close your ears. If the fluid is thicker and more mucoid, more of a mucopolysaccharide,
hell yeah,
you know it's not pee. And you can always test it. You can always take some asparagus, or if you know that your urine turns colors with certain vitamins or something, you can always try these things, and you will see that it ends up usually not being the case. But it is possible you could have both. It is possible you could have both. It is a talent. It's not something everybody can experience. Women that do this tend to be orgasmic with intercourse, while women, not necessarily, but tend to be multiply orgasmic as well, which is, all the different forms that the female take, right? Some don't have orgasm with intercourse almost ever, and they need some kind of direct stimulation, and they have long refractory and one orgasm like men. There are those that can have sort of sequential orgasms, like 2 or 3 at an episode. Those people typically can sometimes orgasm with intercourse, and there's women which are the smallest percentage, that have stole the orgasms from all the rest of them, and can have like 30 or 40 orgasms and only orgasm with intercourse, and will feel that any kind of direct stimulation like oral sex is uncomfortable. So it's some people, most women, well, all women sit somewhere on that spectrum. This young lady is already having, 3 or 4 orgasms before she begins 3 to 5 orgasms before, and squirts before she even begins sexual intercourse. So she's over at this end of the spectrum. Are we all good, gentlemen? Have you understand all this now?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is good. Okay. And I appreciate. I hope I got the whole landscape there. But there's one other thing. These nonsense videos out there that going to teach you how to make a woman squirt and all this stuff. No, a woman either can do that or she can't. There's some that might not have figured it out yet. You can help her try it, whatever. But you're not going to make all women have a squirting orgasm that way. In fact, you're not even going to make all women orgasm with the BS that's out there with how to. Any more questions, gentlemen?
I'm all good here, Drew. Any?
I'm good. I can make them orgasm just fine. So
are you back?
We're
Are you good?
Yeah.
Do you understand all those different types? You've encountered all those different ways of being?
Fuck, I've never encountered the 30 to 40 girl, but man, one of these days, maybe.
Yeah, they just essentially just go till exhaustion. So it's interesting. Last email here today. Long-time listener. Hi, mommies. Question related to alcohol in the lungs. I'm struggling with alcohol. Being used as a sleeping tool. That is not good. I've suffered a rather rough morning expelling last night's sleep aid. With that, I developed a rather rough cough with constant clearing of the lungs. Does he mean he vomited? Long story short, my upchuck is dark yellow and cannot keep anything down. Trying to tie this together. I'm also a mouth breather. When I sleep, can alcohol damage your lungs? All right, dude. You have a problem. you have caused a gastritis or pancreatitis. Pancreatitis is alcoholic pancreatitis, a potentially fatal process. If you're having abdominal pain with this, you should go to the hospital. You do need to be seen by a doctor to make sure you detox safely from the alcohol, and you need to stop. This bullshit about being a sleeping aid is just that. It is bullshit. Now, when you drink enough to sleep, you're usually putting yourself in a state of anesthesia. Alcohol used to be used as an anesthetic. And as such, you don't clear your lungs normally. You'll be at risk for pneumonia and aspiration. And if you're vomiting, the aspiration risk gets even higher. Your immunity doesn't work right when you're drinking like that. And people get bizarre pneumonias like Klebsiella pneumonias. So this is not a trivial issue. Don't minimize this. This is a real serious stuff.
So what if there's a situation where, because I feel like this is probably an extreme end of the spectrum. What if there's someone that is using alcohol as a sleeping aid, but they're not waking up super hungover?
Is his name Nadav?
No, I'm not.
No. Yeah, of course.
Come on, man. I'm not a huge drinker. You think I'd keep that from you?
Right, that's true.
Come on.
It's also not. Interestingly, Jewish folk rarely have that.
Yeah, I think we like weed more than anything.
Weed, stimulants, opiates. No, really benzo and opiates is more your deal.
Ooh.
So go ahead.
All right, I'll try those other two things. So if someone isn't like puking and having like crazy bodily reactions, but is using alcohol as a sleeping aid, like what's a safer thing for them to transition to, like melatonin?
Yes, sleep actually is alcohol. I'm sorry, will make you fall asleep, but it's actually a horrible sleep aid because it screws with sleep latency. So you'll wake up in the middle of the night and be kind of possibly even in withdrawal and screw up the rest of your night's sleep. So it's actually, and this is why this guy's drinking so much. He's drinking enough so that the withdrawal doesn't kick in until the morning. And that's not good. That is not good. No, so alcohol, if you ever notice, if you drink a little too much at night, you'll end up waking up at 3 a.m. You'll fall asleep fine typically, but you'll wake up. Sleep latency is all screwed up. So a better thing, you can use Benadryl, but people develop tachyphylaxis to that, so it won't last that long. You can use
tachyphylaxis?
You could get tolerant to it.
Oh, gotcha.
You can use melatonin. You can get prescription sleep aids, but don't use those more than a few days. They can be quite problematic. Your sleep gets worse later. And the biggest, sort of these days, the biggest recommendation for sleep disturbance is don't sleep. And when you really, your body really insists on it, you will sleep. And if you have some condition like mania or hyperthyroidism or something, make sure you get a medical evaluation. Make sure it's possible for you to fall asleep. But melatonin for some people can be very, very helpful. Let's see, there are other, let me think if there's any other.
What about in states where it's legal marijuana? Like, is that
some
good
people
or bad?
Yeah, some people do use cannabis to some effect, and I don't object to that. CBD, some people use that as well. So as long as you're not like going, really using a lot, that's okay. Again, all these things though, over long periods of time, we don't know the full effect. So it's always important to take breaks and try to let your body do its own things naturally. Nothing is better than that. Unless you have a problem, like a condition that prevents it.
Right. Listen to your body. Voicemail. Yep, here we go.
Hey, Dr. Hitler. This is James from Texas. I just had a quick question about white. So does white have salt in it? Because, not saying I did, but tasted it one time and it was a little bit salty. And hypothetically speaking, say if I ran out of salt, could I use that to season like a steak or something? You bet your Hamilton loving ass I'll be coming up in May.
Well, I do like Hamilton. Number one. Number two, we have the most creative, greatest callers at your mom's house. They're the best. Thinking all the time, thinking. Gentlemen, I don't know if you're ready for this question or not, but it is rather common for young males to at some point test their stuff. So anybody had the experience that you're willing to talk about? Oh, Nadav has. How about Zolo? Are you been a partaker?
Nope.
Okay.
It's always been an accident.
Yeah, of course.
That one time.
Yeah, of course.
Always been an accident.
Yeah, it just flies.
It was always an accident that
airborne.
one time.
And salty?
I don't know, because as soon as it got on me, it was just eyes closed, mouth tight, and then I ran to the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, you would have probably noticed salt even at that duration. Any review for us?
No, there's no chance that I would ever.
You're pristine. I figured.
Yeah.
Me
no
neither.
chance.
Actually, the first time I heard hearing these calls, I was like, wow, people do that. They do it very commonly. And it is salty. It is somewhat concentrated plasma, essentially. But not enough to salt your food, and it's just kind of you probably have a very sensitive salty taste, like you noticed Nadav didn't taste the salt. So, and probably the longer, I imagine, I don't know this to be true, but the longer it stays in the vesicles, the more saltier I bet it becomes, more concentrated. But I don't know that.
I can at least say I have tried like my own blood. That's for sure.
salty also, right?
That's for sure salty.
Yeah,
I like that.
And that's
taste.
the plasma taste. You like that taste?
Yeah, I'll drink that any day.
Interesting.
Taste
drink it, not just taste it, but
copper
drink it.
pennies.
Yeah.
Plasma has
it.
there's a lot of sodium and chloride in plasma, in our fluids, in our fluids. And if you have something sort of equivalent to plasma, you're likely to have a sort of a salty type, maybe a salty taste to it. Another voice message.
What's up, Dr. Jeans?
What's
I'm
up?
Jesse from Minnesota. So I was just wondering, like, sometimes my pee smells like fish. And I don't know, is that because I've just ran through too many scurvy twats? So now my hole just kind of, like, soaked up all that nasty smell, you know? And so now that juice is reproduced within my yellow, or do I just have an STD? So anyways, thanks. Love you. Coming up in May. Piss on me and beat me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, man, this guy. You can see why the chicks love him. So here's the thing about fish smell. It can be anaerobic bacteria, and that might even be just your foreskin or something. It might actually even be the pee. But there is an STD called trichomonas that typically causes a fishy smell in females. Or you're looking up...
Things that could cause
a fishy smell
to smell fishy.
None of that. Brussels sprouts. Asparagus is not fishy. It's a specific thing. Keep going. Let's go
right.
down
So
further.
diet and dehydration is one.
Urinary tract infection. Right. That's what we talked about. Infection.
That's two.
Bacterial vaginosis, and again, that's the
Right,
most typical. Gardnerella does that too. But so you might actually have a urethritis from one of those bacteria.
Wait, can guys get bacterial vaginosis?
No, but they can harbor the bacteria. I've never seen anybody having a smell from it yet. This is the fish smell stuff. That's nothing. That's a rare
the
thing.
trimethylaminuria.
Methylaminuria.
Yep, that's it.
Yep. No. Okay. So, but I would get your urine tested, and that'll be coming up in May, man. It's something. They're saying liver problems, but that's really different smell. And it's associated with brown urine and stuff like that.
So, I mean, are you suggesting that he should go to the doctor, or if nothing's hurting, he's probably fine?
No, because he can pass that on to other of his partners. This is a ladies' man here. And so it could be an infection. And if it is a urethritis, it can, you can get complications. You can get strictures in the urethra. You can get, I just trichomoniasis. That's the one I mentioned. So Gardnerella, trichomoniasis, these are the fish smelly ones typically. Got another one for me? These are good voice messages.
Hey, Dr. Drew. My name's Emily. I was curious. I recently moved in with my boyfriend, and there was a entire week where we had sex like 3 times, and he didn't ejaculate at all. And it really got me in my head worrying, like, is it me? Am I the problem? The only time he ejaculated at all that week was when he pleasured himself. And so I don't know if what I'm feeling is okay, and if he maybe needs to get something done about that or get checked out. Let me know. Love the show. Thanks.
Oh, boy. Emily. We've talked about this many times, gentlemen, have we not?
We have.
Yeah.
Josh Potter.
Josh Potter was where we talked about these issues. And it is almost never the partner. It has like nothing to do with the partner. It's just him and his rhythm. I don't know if you guys had previously not been having sex. You didn't know that he didn't do this, that it took him a while, and that he had to use, he had to do it himself to make it happen. That's just him. And you can work with that with him and help him do that, but it's not about you. This is his biology. And there are things that can cause delayed ejaculation for sure. I mean, he could talk to a urologist, but it's probably just always been his thing. And, Josh has been getting better, right? And he really had a problem with it.
I mean, I don't know if he's coming in women right now. I don't know.
He got to the point where he got to the point where he could with one partner, right?
No, he always said he got to the point where, or I think there was one.
Yeah.
Right.
But he most of the time still is like, he'll get to that point and then he has to finish.
No, he's a very, very difficult case. I doubt your boyfriend is as bad as Josh Potter. He's like legendary, let's be fair. Speaking of which, what is up with his cyst?
I just saw him the other day and he said he's done nothing about it. Yeah. Can confirm.
Oh my God. He was going to wait till that abscess drills into his spine.
He said that he was he went to like a doctor maybe or like an urgent or care or something, and they said that he would just have to remove it entirely.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Yes, that's where he was at 2 years ago.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He did nothing.
Oh shit. Oh my God, Josh, come on, man.
I hit him up and said that you want to go on the show, so expect a call from him pretty soon. You can get all about it. But
all right,
I'd like to go back to Emily. On her saying that her boyfriend doesn't come because she has a couple fears in her head that I think I could validate are not true.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that's if your boyfriend doesn't like you, he wouldn't be with you. So he does like you.
And like you fully, like he wants to have sex with you in the worst way all the time.
Yeah.
That's your boy. That's why he's your boyfriend.
Exactly. And then
the fact that he can't ejaculate has nothing to do with that or you. Women always blame themselves when there's erectile dysfunction or delayed ejaculation. They always blame themselves.
And if Emily's
nothing to do with you.
And if Emily is embarrassed that her boyfriend isn't coming, guess who's even more embarrassed than Emily? Her boyfriend.
Well, and not just embarrassed. No, she's blaming herself and getting hurt. She's not embarrassed. It was the squirter that was embarrassed. Emily's just getting in her head and feeling bad about it. Trust me, he feels bad about it too, which is why you have to kind of work on it as a couple. You have to call it out. What can I do? Maybe right before you ejaculate, maybe we can have intercourse right then and sort of expand that to maybe a little bit earlier before you ejaculate. But some part of it's going to, or use some equipment. There's all kinds of toys out there you can get involved with that have suggestions. What are you doing here, Nadav? What are you doing?
I was looking up a sex toy that I mispronounced last time.
Sibian, I believe it's called.
With a B. Fuck, that's always my problem.
Is it not?
This is some sort of creature. I don't know.
Isn't it or maybe it's CY?
No, it's there.
There it is. Motor Bunny. Is that right?
There we go. Nope. Don't show this to the people at home.
Wow. And so why did you bring that up? Because that's for her, not for him.
Oh yeah, I must have gotten my angles mixed up.
You were just something you wanted to see. Oh my God.
Maybe he used it on himself.
I'm crossing some wires.
Yeah, no. That's.
One of those looks like you could use it. If you kind of stick something in you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They do make these for dudes. Wait, is that for dudes?
That's not for a dude.
I mean, there is stuff for men, and they should avail themselves of available technology.
Yeah, let's hop off this site.
All right. Maybe one more before I go to some videos.
Or maybe one more before we go into the thing that we came to do.
Oh, I'm going to get there. Trust me.
All right.
Hello, Dr. Jeans and the Booth Chomos. This is Lane from Colorado, and I just have a question involving my nutsack. So, when I was growing up, pretty much all through life, I've always had this ability. I'm 30 years old now. I can, if I move my stomach inward, like suck in my stomach, my nuts move up as if they were getting cold and like all the way up. And when I relax my stomach muscles, they drop back down and I can just voluntarily retract and contract my nutsack. Is this normal? Let me know. I will make you cry.
Indeed. It's not normal. I'm imagining very few people are going to do this, but it's not a pathology. You somehow have connected that spontaneous smooth muscle cremasteric response to some skeletal muscle activity you've figured out how to do. And congratulations. There could be quite a career ahead for you in certain settings, I imagine. But it's not a problem. It's not an issue. You can't really hurt anything that way. And if it's cold outside, you got instant advantage. Let's look at a few TikToks here.
All right. I think you're going to like this batch.
Aye.
There's one good thing about the Texas heat. You can guarantee that no one's waiting in your back seat to kill you.
Wow, that's a lovely thought for the day. Thanks, Mom. Woo! Wow, things I'm not so sure I want to go down to Austin anymore. That's what they think about in Texas, huh? All right.
I was genetically engineered from the ground up. I was a special section Marine from the time that I was a baby.
Have you ever killed an extraterrestrial being?
Yes.
Have you ever physically been to a planet other than Earth?
Yes.
There are no indications that Mr. Kramer was actively attempting to deceive me or the polygraph examination. From my perspective, Mr. Kramer does believe that he is telling the truth.
I've always known I've been telling the truth.
People now are going to have to look at this.
Oh, no, they're not. It's like people with delusions always think they're telling the truth. They think they're Napoleon. They think they're Jesus. They will guarantee you that's what they are. So nice. Enjoy. That is, now we've been talking about personality disorders, which we're going to get into in a minute. But sometimes people have chronic sort of personality things that tend towards paranoia and delusions. There's even something called paranoid personality disorder. I'm not saying that's what this guy has, but that is a thought disorder. Unless there is evidence of where he's been and what he's been engineered to do, this is a thought disorder, okay? The problem with delusions is they're not rational. They can't be reasoned with. Not only do they believe that what they're saying is the fact, you can show them hard evidence of the truth, and they'll twist that evidence into something else. Upstart, everyone, the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan, all done online, whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest rate debt, funding personal expenses. Over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment. Upstart knows that you are much more than just your credit score and is expanding access for affordable credit. Unlike other lenders, Upstart considers your income and current employment to find you a smarter rate for your loan. Within a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate upfront for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. And you can receive those funds as fast as one business day after accepting your loan. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/Dr. Drew. Again, that is upstart.com/Dr. Drew. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know we sent you. Loan amount will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go now to upstart.com/Dr. Drew. Hey guys, are you still going to the post office, paying full price for postage? Well, thanks to Stamps.com, you do not have to. Mail and ship anytime, anywhere from your computer. Send letters, packages, pay less, a lot less, with their discounted rates from USPS, UPS, and more. I love Stamps.com. I cannot imagine paying full price or waiting around in the post office to do all the things I could do from home. My wife showed me Stamps.com long ago, and we adapted and been using it ever since. Stamps.com brings the services of the Postal Service and UPS right to your computer. Must have for every business. Use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send it. Once your mail is ready, just schedule a pickup or drop it off. It is that simple. And with Stamps.com, you get discounts up to 40% off post office rates and up to 66% off shipping rates. 2/3 off shipping rates at UPS. Not to mention, Stamps.com is a fraction of the cost of the expensive postage meters. I don't know why you would do that anymore. It's a no-brainer. Stop wasting time going to the post office and go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk, and with my promo code, Dr. Drew, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage, plus a digital scale, no long-term commitment or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Dr. Drew. That is Stamps.com, promo code Dr. Drew, Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. All right, give me another one. TikTok. This is good. I do like these.
So I identify as wolf spiritually and psychologically, but I'm still in a human body. So with that in mind,
have you ever seen a human wolf run like that?
No, but speaking of evidence, isn't that hard evidence that she's not a wolf? I mean, that was, yeah.
Well, she said that she is. She identifies as a wolf spiritually, but she is still in a human body.
I see.
So
well,
she's
stuck
certain
with the human body.
limitations.
All right. Well, okay. Well,
and what's great is that now that you've seen that TikTok,
here's my thing. I'm not going to argue with her. Like, I'm not going to argue with that other guy either, because I know it's it's a waste of time.
Good. I was gonna say you shouldn't argue with her, because if you mess with her, you're gonna need
and not only mess
with
with
the whole
her.
pack.
Hang on. Not only.
some people
that's
on
her.
TikTok are confused because they've been seeing us on live. Did you want to introduce yourself, Lovely?
My name is Caitlin. I am a Shiba Inu Husky mix. and we've been together for about 3 weeks now.
Yeah, so I'm dating her and I'm dating Alyssa. As you guys probably know, I'm polyamorous. I have 3.5 partners. Officially, I'm dating Alyssa, Caitlin, and Levi. Levi's long distance, but you guys know them in my stream as Human Wolf. So yeah. Anything else you want to tell my followers, love? That's it.
I hope to see you guys around.
Ooh, that's pretty good. I like that. I like that. Good for you. I like that she's taking this seriously enough that she's developed an actual howl. Is that a transgender woman?
I believe so.
Okay. And polyamorous and those two do look strangely alike. It's kind of interesting.
What?
There's an affect that's very similar in both of them.
Hold on.
Kind of throw it up there. I mean, just see that same flat affect.
Well, clearly the one on the left looks like a Shiba Inu mix.
Clearly.
And then the one on the right is a German Shepherd. I don't know.
Wolf, just a Alaskan. I don't know. And wolves wear human body. I got to remind myself. Again, people enjoy. Go do whatever you want. I celebrate you. I love you. I'm not going to argue about it. Enjoy. If you get into, I feel like that's the way I feel like about addicts too, which are people are using too many drugs, which is like, I'm not going to argue with you. Go do all you want. When you decide you're done or you have trouble or things shit hits the fan, I'm here. I think I know how to handle it. So good times. All right. So I just feel like what are you pointing at?
All right. I'll give you one more TikTok and then we'll get into the business.
I go down rabbit holes with TikToks. It's easy to suck me into TikTok. Oh. Horrible or hilarious? Good that nobody got hurt. Her giving that gawk night. What does that mean? Do you know what that means?
Could you, hold on, maybe I'm mishearing you. Could you read that again one more time?
Her giving that gawk 9,000.
Thank you. Zolo, can you isolate that?
What does that mean? Help me. Well, you've already got it. Tell me what it means now.
I'll let Annie step in.
Oh my God, I feel so lame. I'm more lame than I thought I was.
I mean, when you say gawk, what does that mean to you?
Doesn't mean shit.
Doesn't mean anything?
No.
Like gawk, that doesn't like sound like anything. Doesn't sound like
you're okay. So we're talking. And what's the 9,000?
I mean, that's a lot.
So he is associating. Again, this is definitely a male. Put this video up. He is associating driving through an above ground pool with oral sex and ejaculation.
Boom! He got it, ladies and gentlemen.
My brain does not work that way.
Hey, you figured it out, though.
Not because I understood the connection between that image and those words. Even if he had said explicitly oral sex, I would not have understood what the hell.
But now that you do know what it means, let's watch it one more time.
This is a great video.
Hilarious.
Because nobody got hurt. The pool got ruined, but hilarious. Nikki Glazer has an interesting comedy routine about gawk, so good for her. I don't know if you've heard it. It's very funny. Okay, so what I want to do today is we've been talking about personalities and what everyone is or is not, and we had some antisocial stuff up last time and any kind of related to that, and we also had some borderline topics up there and any related to that. So I thought I'm going to bring in a MIDI borderline screen. This screen is not meant to diagnose. It doesn't mean you have anything if you rate highly on this screen, but it sort of is a food for thought, let's just say. Okay, so, gentlemen, are you ready?
Oh yeah,
let's go, baby.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and let me read the disclaimer on the instrument itself. This is not a diagnostic tool, et cetera, et cetera.
But great disclaimer.
But can't believe it because they're saying you have to be seen by a medical professional and blah 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 blah
blah blah blah. We got it.
Well, that's
all right. Okay, gentlemen, we're gonna wait. How come my name's not up there?
Oh, right.
Yeah. I need to be on a score. We're keeping a scoreboard, guys.
Because I feel like you already know the right answers to all these tests.
No. I'm going to answer them honestly. There's not a right or wrong answer.
All right.
My relationships are very, and this has to be true now. And if you want to say that it had been true at some time in your life, please tell me. And that's relevant to me as I assess this thing.
Right. So, so if we have transitioned from one
if you've grown up, in
to
other
the
words,
other at some point. Okay.
Yeah. My relationships are very intense, unstable, and alternate between the extremes of over-idealizing and undervaluing people who are important to me. True or false? Should we go right down the list?
Yeah, let's start with you, Drew.
I had a period of time where I could say that was definitely happening to me. I had some trauma in childhood, and that was creating some of this. It is definitely a negative, a false now. False. Okay.
Okay. Up next, Annie.
Could you repeat the question?
Jenny, we got to keep him in the room, Nadav. You need like a little stun gun or something to keep him in his body. You know what I mean? He keeps dissociating every time I sit down at this table.
You got it, buddy. I'm gonna buy a stun gun for the next show.
Hold on.
Just an easy one, not a taser. Just something to kind of keep you
just
with
an
us.
easy one.
It'll be low voltage.
Yeah, just just a stick then to poke you. My relationships are very intense, unstable, alternate between the extremes of over-idealizing and undervaluing people important to me. So you go between idealizing and de-idealizing. Relationships don't last, they're unstable, that kind of thing.
I'm going to say no.
Okay, is that a maybe? Sometimes, or used to be, anything like that?
That's a yes for romantic relationships, but no in relationships in general.
So let's give that a yes. No, because that's where this stuff tends to emerge more.
Oh,
so let's give that a yes.
All right, so we got a true for
and for Nadav?
I want to say false.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really over-attach to anyone in my life.
False.
Are you sure we don't want to say true?
You're the one that gave me the only romantic relationships. But Zolo?
It's false for me too.
Okay, false for you. Okay. My emotions change very quickly, and I experience intense episodes of sadness, irritability, and anxiety or panic attacks. Always, never, sometimes.
You're first.
Me? Again, it was a used to be, and my adolescence had a lot of this stuff. And adolescents typically have a lot of borderline qualities to them. So I'm going to say never. It's N. It's really never anymore. So I used to have panic attacks when I was a kid. I'd get depressed really easy. I still tend towards depression, but I really don't. Never. N. So?
All right, I'm next. Yeah. I am a no. I feel
never.
Pretty much nothing ever. So yeah.
Good. No. Is that because you're away from your feelings, or just because you don't fluctuate?
Definitely because I'm away from those feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But are they underneath there somewhere?
Okay. No, I don't think so. I mean, if there are, I can't.
Okay, got it. Nadav?
And sorry, I'm doing a couple things at once. Can you repeat the question one more time?
My emotions change quickly. I experience sadness, irritability, or anxiety, or panic. Intense episodes.
You sure we don't need a stun gun for him too? You just,
I know. What was he doing? You're welcome to pass it back and forth.
Yeah. I will say yes. I do fluctuate pretty quickly.
But sometimes or always?
I'd say sometimes.
Okay, that's an S there. And Zolo?
I think I could be a sometimes too.
Okay, all right. And Zolo, more age appropriate, right? Because that's sort of when this stuff happens a lot. You asked before the mics heated up, you were talking about anger. So here we go. We're going to get into some anger. My level of anger is often inappropriate, intense, and difficult to control. Always, never, sometimes. Never for me.
Never for me also.
Never for. Why did you ask about Nadav about anger if it's a never for any? And I'm imagining never for you too.
Just wait until you hear his answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes my anger gets away from me.
Oh, we're going to put that at a sometimes.
Yes. Right? Is it sometimes or always?
Sometimes is good.
He fucking He's liar. He's lying. It's always.
Really?
It's always.
Wow. Well, because I've never experienced it. And what triggers it, any?
What triggers it?
Is it frustration or anger?
I'd actually love to know this too, because I don't think I know the answer.
Because I imagine you get frustrated really easily. I see that in you, but I don't see the anger or the hostility. It's really hostility that borderlines have, not so much anger. But go ahead, Annie. When does it get triggered?
No.
I mean, when something's fucking with his money.
Yep.
Oh.
If something has the potential to fuck with my money, then I very quickly try to neutralize that ability to fuck with my money.
Even if it's a person?
Yep.
And what does that mean?
Especially if it's a person.
I don't know. It's a very vague ideology that I have, but the second I even sense it, all of a sudden defenses go up, and I try and neutralize.
Is that in your family system anywhere?
I mean, I do have J blood in me, so possibly.
I don't mean that. I mean, jumping right towards racism. And
that's anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism. I'm just saying. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Anti-Semitism?
No, racism. That's what anti-Semitism goes into the mix, of course. When I was in the bathroom, I was remembering earlier in the show. I said there was something in the bathroom that I wanted to remember, and Scott Adams or something said a thing that his friend had told him, an African American friend of his, that the thing that made for him white people different and stand out is that they like cheese. And I thought that is a really interesting observation, because white people, I mean, think of French and Italians, they don't consider all the people that can't eat cheese and get screwed up by it. Like that wouldn't even enter their mind. The cheese is everywhere, and that's a white people food. So that's how subtle racism can be, right?
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah, that is a white person food for sure. Yeah. Like I went to
you don't like cheese?
Not like you like
people,
cheese.
and not only that, people with
how much do I like cheese?
You ordered the fucking charcuterie board or whatever when we went to that fucking the bar.
If you have, feel fancy. It was a sometimes.
Dude, no.
I see.
No, if you have African descent, there's a good probability that cheese will make you sick. Nadav, that's not funny. Why is that funny?
No, because then he caught me. No. I get it now. Yeah, sure. White people love cheese.
White people, well, at the very least, they don't consider that people with particularly of African descent and other parts of Spain and stuff too, have a problem with cheese. You know what I mean? It's like it hurts. They have lactose
digesting it. Got
it. They get sick, and so I thought that's how subtle racism can be. That's how it works. You got to pay attention, and then you also don't see yourself. You know what I mean? Look how weird it looks to somebody that can't stand or can't tolerate cheese. We have cheese carts.
Yeah, it was funny. I was at Crate and Barrel. That's that kind of somewhat fancy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember I was at Crate and Barrel. We were looking at all the kitchen stuff. We're like, this is dope. And then we saw this plate, this like long plate that had the inserts for fork, spoon, and knife. I'm like, the fuck is this? And it was like, there was the charcuterie board. I'm like, niggas in their cheese. What is up with this cheese shit? Fucking.
Right.
Why do they like cheese so much?
It really it's deep in France and Italy, right? And even in Greece too. It's like it's on in European nations, and that's the part. I'm very serious about this. I mean, it's funny, and I like that it's funny because it helps us all talk about this. But that's the part that when people talk about white supremacy and things like that, that's the part. You got to pay attention to what makes you different from somebody else, and pay attention to what their needs are versus yours. It's a pretty simple thing if we just keep our heads in the game.
Interesting.
So, am I wrong? Anybody? Am I wrong?
No, well said.
Yeah,
well said.
Makes sense.
And so when people talk about white supremacy, they think skinheads and all this other stuff. No, get that out of your head. Just talk. I think maybe Eurocentrism or something is a better way to think about it. But we it's just about paying attention. That's it. Pay attention, everybody. That's it. Okay, so we're still going down the borderline pathway. We've gone Zola. We get number.
We need an answer from Zola.
Anger. Always, sometimes, never.
Never.
Never. Now or in the past, when upset, I've engaged in recurrent suicidal behaviors, gestures, threats, self-injurious behavior, cutting, burning, or hitting myself. So have you? A simpler way to ask this question is: have you had a tendency towards self-harm? Me, no.
Me also, no. Never.
And even when you're super angry and you can't get your way, even then.
Hold on, is overeating self-harm?
Ooh, if it's done out of sort of attempts to hurt yourself to regulate your emotions.
Then no. It's normally associated with happy emotions.
Okay, that's not it. Yeah, but it's interesting, almost a sometimes. We'll give everyone a no. Zolo.
I mean, I'll put sometimes for me. That's fine.
Okay, all right.
Never for me.
Never. I'm guessing when you get intensely, based on what this part of you I did not know until this today.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm guessing when you get intensely frustrated, you feel like just like banging your head against the wall, like literally doing something to yourself. Am I right?
You talking about me?
You.
Oh no! It's doing it to the person that's making me angry.
Well, if you couldn't, you wouldn't turn on yourself.
No. I've never.
Right. So give yourself a no. Give yourself a no.
Will do.
Let's see. I have a significant and persistently unstable image of myself or of who I am or what I truly believe in. Now, this is another key part of borderline. Now, when I was an adolescent, I had a lot of those symptoms. No, for the last 40 years, thank God. Never.
So I have a persistent image of who I am.
No,
as in like,
unstable image.
Oh, unstable.
Like you're like, who am I? What do I really want? Who am I in the world? This kind of stuff.
Oh God. Oh yeah. I'm a fucking always on that one.
Oh, you're always really. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is that because you are not sort of? Are you doing the career you want to do?
Definitely.
You
definitely.
are.
Yeah, I'm in production.
Doesn't that give you? Look what Nadav wrote up there. What? Bad. He just wrote bad. But bad.
I'm trying to take good notes. It's not going well.
In other words, does your career give you a sense of identity?
Everything gives me a sense of identity. I mean, dude, the reason why my name is Any, that's not my birth. I wasn't born with this name. I chose Any because I was trying to figure out. There was a time when names meant something to me, and I was like, "What is my name? Oh, it just means my dad's name. That's lame. I want to choose my own name." And so I kept trying to figure out what I identify with, and I couldn't. Everything was like sometimes, here and then. I'm not really. That doesn't define me though. Like I could be whoever I want, and I couldn't settle on anything. So I chose Any because I could be anything. I could be anybody. I could be.
Did you guys know this?
You know what I'm saying?
I did, yeah.
Oh, and why do you spell it the way you do?
Because ANY is 100% going to turn into Amy. So I'm like, let's not
smart.
Do that.
Smart. Do you see yourself as smart?
That's another difficult question. I mean, it goes with this same answer in that it's constantly changing. Sometimes, sure,
it's
mostly
not stable. All right, so we're going to give you we're going to give you an always. Nadav?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I struggle with imposter syndrome. Like, I've heavily struggled with imposter syndrome, I want to say, for the majority of my life.
But usually imposter syndrome, is it really imposter syndrome? Because imposter syndrome usually happens to people that have expertise. They really know that they don't know. You know what I mean? They know how big, vast a topic is, and they feel like, oh, not me. So would it be? I'm
also super self-deprecating. No.
Right.
Yeah, I have a whole lot of self-worth
It
issues.
sounds more like self-worth than self-identity.
Than self-image?
Yeah. So why don't you give it a sometimes?
Okay.
And Zolo?
I think it's a never for me, too.
Okay. I have very suspicious ideas and paranoid, falsely believe that others are plotting to harm me, or experience episodes under stress when I feel that I, other people, or the situation is somewhat unreal. Wait. Let me read this again. Suspicious, paranoid, experience episode, derealization. And for me, I used to have derealization, like Annie has, dissociation, derealization. I had that when I was an adolescent. I do not. It's a never now.
Yeah, that's always for me.
It's always, but do you get paranoid?
Yep.
Oh, do you? Do you? And how does that manifest?
In infinite ways.
Like, give me the latest.
I mean, can't give you the latest, but let's see I'm pretty convinced that when I go to Las Vegas, I don't know why I said Las Vegas, but whatever. When I go to Vegas to gamble, I know that when I walk into the door, you know how they have facial recognition systems? They know how much money you've made and who you are and everything.
Yeah.
So in my head, I feel like they're constantly also gauging my mood and my how long I'm going to stay there.
So you feel like they've intruded into your thoughts further than probably they are.
Yes, and I do actions based on that. Like I'll sit at a table and in my head I'm like I'm gonna start pretending like I'm about to leave.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna make facial.
Isn't this the result of the fact that people are watching you? You know what I mean? Doesn't that really what you're uncomfortable with is people are watching you?
Well, I've had an unreasonable paranoia that people were watching me since before people were watching me. I always thought cameras were in my walls and bathrooms.
Okay, that's an always.
Yeah.
That's an always. Okay.
Yeah.
Nadav.
No, never really had that paranoia.
Zolo?
Never.
Okay. Engager 2 or more self-damaging acts such as excessive spending, unsafe and inappropriate sexual contact or conduct, substance abuse, reckless driving, binge eating.
More than 2 in what?
Like recently. We'll give you recent, like in the last 6 months.
6 months.
How about 3 weeks?
How about today?
We give him an always, and me a never. Although I do a little bit of driving stuff. I noticed last night I was driving recklessly, and I didn't even know it. It was weird.
You mean like you were going too fast?
I was going too fast. I in my head, I was just fine, but it was on a street where it was not fine, and a passerby sort of like noted, like, calm it down. I thought, oh shit, I wasn't even aware of that. So, for those of you who are crossing the street in Laguna last night, I thank you for that. So what do we got here, Nadav?
So this was the self-damaging acts over drinking, over eating, over all.
Sexual stuff, spending, driving,
past 6
eating.
months.
You got the binge eating.
Oh.
You got the binge eating, right?
I got a couple of other those stuff too.
Ooh,
yeah.
like what?
Gambling, spending.
Ooh, okay. We'll give that an always.
Fuck.
Yeah, always. And then Zolo?
Never.
Okay. I engage in frantic efforts to avoid
Hold on. Let's backtrack a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Never?
What are you, just lying in here? Is that what this is?
You're telling me you're an angel, Zolo? You got to be honest. That's how these work.
6 months, you ain't done 2 things bad for you?
Not to that extent. No, I don't overspend. I try to be very healthy and careful with everything
although we
I do.
think Chris is the baseline, I think Zolo may be the baseline.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? We'll get Chris later.
Well, what? I mean, what do you think I'm doing? Then?
Nothing.
I think you're lying.
Yeah.
No, I think
you're
what?
lying.
let me flip over the
So
cards.
you getting mad?
Let me flip over the cards on some of these things. Having some of these things is what make people interesting. So it's not always great to be a never all the way through. I engage in frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment by people who are close to me.
Engage in what?
Real, frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. Preoccupation with abandonment. Abandonment.
So you're first on that one.
Oh, no, never.
Never for you.
Yeah.
Abandonment.
Yeah. Like you feel like like you sabotage relationships because you feel the chick's going to leave you. And romantic relationships where it really comes in.
Yeah, with romantic relationships and with career. Yeah, I mean, you can ask Nadav. Every week, I'm like, so am I fired today, or what's?
Oh, interesting.
When is this happening?
Interesting.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, fight or flight kicks in a lot for Annie.
Yeah.
Okay. I suffer from feelings of. Oh no, I'm sorry. We got to get through the list. Go ahead, Nadav.
Preoccupation with abandonment. I don't think so.
No, that's not your thing.
No.
And give Zolo a never.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Okay, this is actually an important one. I suffer from feelings of emptiness and boredom. Again, for me, just put emptiness because that's the key thing. Emptiness, longing, boredom, those kinds of feelings. Again, as a young adult, adolescent, majorly, but never now. Never.
I am, always.
Always.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Always bored.
Okay.
Always looking.
And he's always. Not boredom, but empty. You feel emptiness. Forget the boredom. Wait.
Yeah.
Empty, like empty on the inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah.
To me, it's the same. It's like if I'm fulfilled, it's because I'm having fun. I'm doing something. So I constantly feel unproductive, slow, bored.
And so when the emptiness, you can fill the emptiness. It just, if you're quiet and bored, you'll feel the emptiness. Is that accurate?
If I'm quiet and bored, I'll feel. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay,
yeah.
but when you're active and doing things you enjoy and stuff, or engage in some of the self-harm,
then
the emptiness goes away.
Yeah, then I'm good.
Yeah, good.
So sometimes, or
let's give you a sometimes. Yeah.
Okay.
Nadav.
Fine, I'll change the answer for you.
Nadav, emptiness and boredom.
No, I feel like I seek boredom. Like I like having nothing to do.
Okay, never. Zolo.
I'd say I'm the opposite of Nadav. I fear boredom, but I don't find myself being bored often.
Hold on, you guys
empty.
zeroed in on boredom. It's really the important thing on this one is the emptiness. When you are bored, let's put it this way: when you are bored and quiet, do you feel empty or longing for something to feel better?
A
little bit.
Productiveness. I feel like I need to be productive and do good things. Not empty.
That's restlessness, right? That's restlessness.
Maybe.
Okay, we'll give it a sometimes.
Okay.
And again, given you're how old now?
21.
Not surprising. Again, not surprising. I had shit tons of it in adolescence and young adulthood. My instinct, gentlemen, is for you to print this up and have me talk about it the next show. Is that too much, or shall I do my little eval now?
Ooh, I do love me a good cliffhanger.
And I have another test too that I want to get on the next show, because I'm not going to do it. Tell me whether you want me to flip over some cards now or wait till next show, because it's going to be a little involved. And we're going to have some conversations about this.
Well,
I think it's too much for
It might be
time.
too much for now. Yeah, let's
print it up.
Let's just kick off the next show and get right into the shit.
We'll print it up so I can kind of have it in front of me. I've got more emails that I'm pushing over to the next show, and there are lots of great emails out here. We have more voice messages. Let's kind of cap it off with another video, so I feel like I'm at your mom's house. Give me another.
Sure, I'll make you regret asking for that.
Oh, shit. Of course. Oh, don't let any see this. Do not let any see this.
Don't worry, Chief. I stopped looking at the first frame.
My God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And is that like in period blood she's swimming in?
I think it's an art installation of some sort.
But it's red water. I mean, it weirdly, it gives you the willies, right? It makes you feel like a weird feeling in your stomach looking at it. And Eddie just goes to outer space.
I think Tom thought it was bloody diarrhea. I mean, that is a lot of period blood.
That's either period blood or bloody diarrhea or both. But that's the point of the art. It makes you think about these things.
One thing's for sure, it's 100% art.
And it's 100% bad for any. Bad on any. Wow. Who found this one? Do we know?
I think this was part of Christina's curations.
Oh, she found this?
You sound surprised.
What is wrong with her?
Hold on. You know what? Let me show you some other stuff. Hold on. Well, one more fun one.
This is a way for me to feel like I've been visiting with Christina. What I miss her. Give me another fun one. Annie, keep your eyes closed. It's bad enough you're having to reveal all your personality functions here.
Yeah, got it, Chief.
High-value men specifically should avoid disagreeable women, single moms and feminists and stuff like that. Unhealthy women. I mean, something like 60% of the North American population is fat or obese or morbidly obese.
Yeah, you married a dime. She gets fat. She refuses to lose weight for you. So you're essentially paying a pig for the rest of your life.
These like perpetually woke women that talk about the patriarchy only earning, 74 cents in every dollar that a man earns. That whole victim mindset means that they have to have an oppressor.
Yeah.
And guess who that oppressor is going to be, fellas, if she's dating you? It's going to be the man, because that's what they've been told. So you want to stay away from victim mindset women. These women that are all hashtag boss girl. She's the boss girl. There's got to be all these things that have to be done. And guys, don't waste your time on the boss girl hashtag girls.
Well, here's what he did say that was something to pay attention to. That this is the reaction to some of the stuff that's out there, and I'm afraid we're going to see more of this. And I'm concerned about it. And was that Christina's dad? Is that who that was? Has he got his own podcast now?
No.
That's kind of how she describes him, right? Except even worse. She describes him even worse. But
these guys seem really angry.
Let's be clear. Those are awful instincts and awful behavior, and that's not the way to healthy relationships. But I've been worried for some time that we're going to see more of this kind of thing. The unintended consequence of some of the stuff that's been going on socially, there's going to be like a reaction of some type. I mean, we've seen lots of political manifestations of it. This kind of thing interpersonally is likely to show up too. So pay attention, everybody. Now, are these guys irretrievable? I always hate. Listen, I've seen skinheads recover, real skinheads. I've seen people get better from bad, aggressive, hostile attitudes. So I will end this show with this thought. A very good friend of mine who's a psychologist, when I was interviewing her on a podcast or a streaming show, I do a streaming show at drdrew.tv if you want to see it. We got Patricia Paytas coming in there pretty soon. And she used the word grace, and I thought, man, that is a word we can all use a lot more of right now. I said, man, that word. And she brought it up to me a couple times since. She said it was a word her grandmother used and said, pay attention to this word. And I'm here to tell you that is a word. Now, we're not always doing your mom's house bidding with grace. But I think it's a word we got to keep in mind as we look at videos like that and think about going forward. And then have some fun here at your mom's house in the meantime. But keep grace in the back of our mind. How's that for a closer?
Couldn't agree more, Drew.
All right. Have grace for one another. Be grace. Be full of grace as we go forward. Even guys like that. God bless them. Okay, and I mean that in any sense in which somebody takes it. DrDrewAfterDark@gmail.com and 818-253-1693 are those voice messages. You guys are great. I love answering them all. I hope they help you. To me, the highlight of the show today was this young lady. I think her name, was it Emily or somebody? Here, it was, she didn't give me her name, but she said, thank you. I love you so much, and thanks for giving us a safe place to ask embarrassing questions. So thank you to the boys and thank you to Christine and Tom for creating an environment where it's possible to do that, and we'll see you next time.
All conversations and information exchanged during participation in the Dr. Drew After Dark podcast or interaction on the drdrew.com website is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do not confuse this with treatment or physician medical advice or direction per se. You must always follow your medical professional's advice and direction. Nothing on these podcasts or posted on this site supplements or supersedes the relationship and direction of your medical caretakers. Please understand, I am not playing the role of physician in this environment per se. I'm educating. I am a licensed physician with specialty boards in American Board of Internal Medicine and American Board of Addiction Medicine.